Hey, what are you doing on Thursday, September 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific time? Let's say Pacific time. Why don't you come hang out with me and Jeff on our next live patron hangout? To find out how, head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Follow the res.
Follow the res is what they'll say. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. I want to talk about weird pets.
Oh, like a ferret?
Sure, kind of like a ferret. I had a friend who had a ferret. We have a leopard gecko.
Yeah.
I married into a leopard gecko.
Do you, Anthony Carboni,
take
this leopard gecko?
I guess.
To be your leopard gecko.
It's mostly out of the way. Like
to have and to rarely hold.
Our leopard gecko's name is Charles.
Hmm.
And yeah, he just hangs out in his aquarium.
He doesn't like to go by Chuck, huh?
He
not
doesn't.
Chuck.
You can call him whatever you want. He
Okay.
responds just the same.
I.e., not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
That's a great pet.
Not at
That's what you
all.
really look for in a pet is non-responsiveness.
Here's the, Charles. If you put him on your shoulder, if you take him out of the aquarium and you kind of put him on your lap or whatever, you can tell he recognizes you and feels safe with you.
Really?
Yeah,
Not
like
a little projection happening?
No, he acts differently. Like on,
All right.
he used to act differently on my lap than he did on Jessica's.
All right.
Now he acts the same on my lap. But if we were to put him on your lap, he would kind of try to scurry away a little bit.
All right.
Whether that's just like lizard brain knowing the difference between safe and unsafe or whatever, fine. I'm down with that. He's kind of cute sometimes.
All right.
Whatever.
Fair enough.
You got to wash your hands after you touch him. Or
He's
you
no
give
ferret.
You give yourself salmonella.
Oh, I don't want that.
I think the weirdest pet that people own are tortoises.
Well, at least a tortoise, like, lets you pick him up,
Yeah.
and you can, like, he's not going to do anything. He's just sort of hanging out.
Well, and they're pretty smart, and they also can outlive you. Like
big time.
I was
yeah.
watching a thing about people who have pet tortoises and how like there's a society, there are like groups of people who own pet tortoises who meet up and they make deals with each other, like who will take on the tortoise when they die.
That's hilarious.
Like older tortoise owners are like,
Hilarious.
look, I'm gonna die. My pet has another 50 years. So you like find a family that's interested in having a tortoise for life and you give
Yeah.
it to them. I want to talk about this tortoise that was
that
in-
you would bequeath. Did you get bequeathed a tortoise? Did you go to a tortoise meetup by accident and someone made you agree to take their tortoise?
I
for
ran
life?
over an old woman in my death Yaris.
Oh no!
And she
wrong old woman.
And she rubbed my face. She gently rubbed my face and said, "Tortoise."
Uh-oh.
And now a tortoise follows me wherever I go.
Oh.
It's a mix between thinner and it follows and just owning a tortoise.
Yeah.
No, this is a tortoise that was in Fresno, California. Nancy Nouse has had a tortoise named Touche since she was 5 years old. She's 60 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah, she and this tortoise have been together for like literally forever.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about with
That's
tortoises
amazing.
as pets, right?
You got at 5 years old, you get a pet. And you're shackled with that pet until you're 60.
But imagine that. Like, so you're not an animal guy.
No. I mean, I like them in theory.
Yeah.
I like visiting animals.
Sure. I'm
And then leaving.
I'm an animal person. You know I love my perfect prince, my
Yes.
little dog.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want him till you're 60, would you?
God, I want us to die together holding each other like in the Notebook.
Oh.
That's how I want my
Well,
dog and I to go out
All right.
when we're 150, me and my dog.
And if you're listening,
I guess my wife is there.
if you're listening and you're an artist, I would love to see an artist rendition of Anthony's death embrace with his perfect little prince.
Dagger. His name is Dagger, and he has an Instagram account. It's Dagger. So imagine this, though. This is like a friend, a dog. This is whatever kind of pet you have. You bond with this pet for not just the 15 years that somebody normally has an animal, but 55 years.
Well,
this pet has been with you from the day you started kindergarten,
Yeah.
and now you're about to retire.
Well, let me tell you about what that journey is like. You're 5, you get a tortoise. It's the greatest thing ever. By 6, you're over the tortoise. You don't want to feed it. It's annoying. You got a little sick of having to have responsibility. Mom and dad had to feed the tortoise to keep it alive. You've ignored it mostly. By 10, the tortoise is still here? I forgot I even had that because mom and dad have been taking care of it.
Do you think that you have the same relationship with a tortoise as a teenager that you do with your parents? Like, your tortoise is your best friend until you're like 13, and then all of a sudden you're like, God, tortoise, it doesn't matter. I'm going out with my other friends. Stay here and eat lettuce or whatever.
Okay.
You talk so slow. I'll be back like when I feel it.
I just want
Ka-chunk.
to listen. Oh, you're gone.
Then by the time you get to like 24, you realize like, oh, that tortoise.
It had some
that
good
tortoise
ideas.
really loves me.
He really loved me. He was the only one that cared. And
That tortoise was right about lettuce. Lettuce is good.
Lettuce is great.
Giant leaves of lettuce are great.
Why wasn't I eating more lettuce as a young person?
So Nancy has had Touche for 55 years. And then all of a sudden, last month, gardeners left the gate open.
And Touche was finally like, yes! I've been waiting 60 years for this!
Let me just say, appropriately for once, Touche.
And he made a break for it.
He did make a break for it.
Here I go. I'm free at last.
So, the
Just
tortoise
let
was
me
covering the distance
Get my things.
of more than 11 football fields a day,
What?
traveling 6.5 miles from her home in 10 days.
See, it's the tortoise and the hare thing, right? He's just going.
Yeah.
He's not going fast.
No.
It's just consistency.
That tortoise is like,
Slow and steady wins the race.
that's how it do. It was found like 10 days later. They were putting up signs.
Putting up signs. Have you seen this tortoise?
Yeah, totally. Have you seen a tortoise? Like
Have you seen any
need,
tortoise?
Like you don't even need to put a picture on that. Like if I lost my dog, I'd be like, "Here's a picture of my dog. You should know
Right.
him." Hey man, fuckers, have you seen a tortoise?
You know what a tortoise looks like.
Have you
Just
been-
tell me.
Have you been walking around the neighborhood and all of a sudden you saw like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle belly crawling? Because these things are huge.
Did you see what looked like an empty shell just sitting there?
Yeah, but like a gigantic one where you were like, that shell is conspicuous. That's Touche.
Yeah.
I need you to call me. Touche, while Nancy is 60 years old, Touche is 100 years old.
Wow.
This
So she
she's-
got Touche
she's
when-
second gen.
Wow.
She
Some 40-year-old person gave Touche to a little 5-year-old girl.
Yep.
Wow.
So, Touche is nearsighted. Touche is
boy.
nearly blind.
How do you know that a tortoise is blind? Because he acts erratically. He bumps into things more than normal.
You can tell how animals react to you can, hey, I'm going to see how close I can come to poking you before you go like, oh shit, thing in front of me.
I'm
You're
pretty sure
probably
I can poke a tortoise anytime I want.
You're probably doing that with your baby right now.
Yeah, that's for
You're
sure.
probably just like, hey man, how close do I get
But
to you
he's
before
super
you see it?
nearsighted. All babies are born nearsighted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the same way you can tell your baby is nearsighted, we can tell a tortoise is nearsighted.
Yeah.
Your baby is dumber than this tortoise right now, I want you to know.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Your baby...
I'm around my baby all the time. I think I know that.
This baby... Whoa. This fucking dumb baby. The tortoise wound up in a neighbor's yard. He spotted it climbing onto a domed mount over a water pipe.
What?
Who knows why?
All right.
But they found...
The neighbor was like, look, over there, a shell on a water pipe.
Well, the domed cover, like maybe the tortoise thought, like, this is another larger tortoise. And I'll ride on its
finally,
back.
I'll get some sex.
Yeah.
I've been waiting 100 fucking years for
100
this.
years locked in this old woman's fucking backyard. It's time for Touche to get his.
More
So-
like touche, am I right?
Woo! So Nancy had been putting out ads, flyers, things on social media. Steven saw the ads, returned the tortoise. But this is not the craziest tortoise story.
This feels like a non-story. It feels like a tortoise was gone for a very short amount of time.
Tortoise was gone for 11 days, man.
All right, 11 days, but for a tortoise, it's like 5 minutes.
Okay, well let me roll
all
this
things
one
are
by
relative
you.
to a tortoise.
So there's a family in Rio de Janeiro.
Okay.
They have a red-footed tortoise as a pet.
A red-footed tortoise.
Red-footed tortoise.
All right.
That's a rare, shiny tortoise that has 10 more XP than a regular tortoise.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
evolved.
Yeah. Its defense is a little lower,
Okay.
but its speed and attack are higher.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great tortoise.
You got to get that tortoise.
Solid tortoise.
Yeah.
They have this tortoise. It disappears in 1982.
Like, it was there 1 minute, and then a sheet came in front of it, and then it disappeared?
Well, it threw down a smoke bomb.
Oh. Well, maybe it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Slowly. It has the pellets in its hand, and it's like, and now you see me. Now you don't. 10 minutes later, the smoke clears. The tortoise is still there, but it's facing backwards.
I like he's like, look behind you. Yeah, I looked behind me and now I'm looking back.
Yeah, I look back.
Just a second.
No, but really, really look. Tortoise, they think, gets out through a back gate in 1982.
Love those back gates.
Love those back gates. They just get out, man. They want to walk. They want to be free.
They want to live.
They want to live their tortoise lives.
Looking for sex, I have no doubt.
They think they're going to come back, but like maybe they get lost or whatever. So anyway, the tortoise is gone. 30 years later.
What?
30.
Wait, did you say 30 years later?
30 years later. It's
All right.
2012. This family, the father dies. The kids come back to clear out all of his possessions from the house and the shed. And they're clearing out these boxes and they're giving them to these like moving companies and whatever. And they're giving them to like the trash company. And they give like this box of old records, like old vinyl, and they just throw it out and they're like, yeah, that's going too. And one of the movers goes, hey, do you want to throw out this turtle too?
Turtle been living in records?
It had been caught in a shed in a
How
crate
did it live?
of records. Here.
Did it eat vinyl?
Here are some fun facts about tortoises.
Did it devour music?
Here are the tortoise facts, my friend.
I want to know.
Number one, a turtle is not a fucking tortoise. Stop saying that.
All right.
Number two, tortoises can live through something called basically grubbing. Grubbing is like, it was out in this shed with all of this old rotting stuff.
It had Grubhub on its phone.
It had Grubhub on its phone.
And it constantly was just ordering, and they never knew why their cell phone bill was so high.
It would order Thai food and say, hey, I'm a tortoise.
Just
This
leave
is
it.
the Thai food.
Leave it at the shed.
Leave it at the shed full of the rotting garbage. And they were like, they used the rotting garbage as a landmark, and that's how, no.
Postmates and Grubhub. It's how tortoises survive.
This old shed, this old furniture, old paper, it was all breeding termites and bugs and all this stuff. So it was caught, but it was eating bugs as they went by. Tortoises have layers of fat that they can live off of for a very long time. They're like other reptiles. They're like my leopard gecko. My leopard gecko, you feed him a bunch of crickets, his tail gets real fat. And that fat is stored energy that it can just have over time. You don't need to feed my gecko for like 3 weeks at a time if you don't want to. You can, but it's chill for like a month.
All that tail fat.
Because of that tail fat, son.
Yeah.
So
it's all about that tail fat. Tail fat.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about that tail fat. No trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the song. I recognized it instantly due to the fact that you were singing it perfectly. And I said, oh, I know that song. If he was a worse singer, I wouldn't have been able to recognize it,
You're
I
welcome.
said to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, for 30 years.
That's it. Okay, you lose a tortoise.
It's gone. Bye.
You're freaking out.
Yeah.
Maybe check
under the records
20 feet around in a radius around your house.
But you know what?
Maybe just check your house.
If this thing was caught in between boxes or something like that, like sometimes animals get into spaces that are like way smaller than you would imagine they could get into.
B, if you're not going to listen to those records for 30 years, there's no reason to hang on. There's no reason to hang on to them.
Haven't you read the Marie Kondo book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up?
Yeah.
Come on.
Clearly, you don't need to hang on to that those Christmas albums. You're never going to pull them out. You don't pull them out. Does your record player still even work?
You know what you do, Tortoise? If you have an emotional connection to an object, take a picture of it.
Yeah.
That's what they say to do, Tortoise.
Yeah.
Take a picture of those records.
And now you've got a picture of it.
And you can be
refer
like,
to that. Yeah. And
that gave me so much joy at one time.
And C,
yeah,
if your shed has a level of insect life that can support a tortoise for 30 years, I don't know, maybe tidy the shed. Maybe call someone in to tidy the shed and exterminate your pest problem.
Well, I think, this guy probably got older and just wasn't checking the shed as much.
Maybe the tortoise was actually doing a really great job of keeping the pest problem under control.
Maybe the tortoise wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Maybe the tortoise was
like, just leave me alone with my music.
The tortoise is like, this is what they call an in-law unit. And you just don't come back here.
Just give me my records
Yeah.
and just shut the door behind you.
So here is the thing that immediately popped into my head, Jeff. The beautiful thing about animals being dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
That tortoise was too stupid to know that it could give up. That tortoise was too stupid to know that it had,
it just was
had
like,
no
this is what life is
This is
now.
life.
Yeah.
It has no conception of its own mortality, and therefore it does not know that it can give up and welcome the sweet release of death.
Or go back 20 feet the other direction where it came from and
there are a lot of things the tortoise doesn't know.
Return to the life of ease that it had being fed every day.
You could try rotating it at an angle and just... But I think that's fascinating. Like, how long could you be trapped in something like that, in a situation like that, before you just gave up?
How long?
Before you tried to snap your own neck?
How long do you miss a pet before you check the shed?
A lot of things going on. Maybe they checked the shed, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe he's like a chameleon tortoise.
Well,
he does look a little bit like a box of records.
But if there's like a pile of stuff, if there are multiple piles of stuff in the shed, this is what I'm saying.
That's not checking the shed, man. If you don't look behind the piles, that's not checking the shed, Anthony.
I like
checking the shed isn't opening the door of the shed and going, whoop, guess he's not in here.
I like how 2 weeks of no sleep and we switch positions. That's all it takes. The difference between your attitude and mine is just 2 weeks of no sleep.
Did you check the shed? Oh, yeah. I opened the door. I casually glanced in there, and then I let 30 years pass.
Yeah.
That's what I did to check the shed.
But this is what's crazy is you would think with over a 30-year period, there would have been a handful of times that you went into the shed.
You'd think you'd need a record or two at one point or another.
It's real weird because so you go into the shed, even if you even go in a handful of times over 30 years, once or twice to get tools or something.
Yeah.
Once or twice a year to get tools or something.
Maybe you hear some movement.
Maybe you don't. Maybe that tortoise is pinned, dog. That's what I'm saying.
He's got to be able to hunt grubs.
He's not hunting the grubs.
They're just passing by his mouth?
I think they're coming by, and when they get within reach...
just volunteering to die in his mouth?
No, but I think if a few pass by every couple weeks because it has these stores of fat, and it's not
that's
moving.
Lucky. That's a lucky tortoise.
Well, within the confines of luck. I would say within the situation.
If food is literally just passing by your face and you're stuck.
But now go back to what I asked you before. Put yourself in the situation. You're pinned under something.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming for you. It's dark.
Yeah.
You're locked in, and all that happens is every once in a while, just enough to keep you alive.
Like half a sandwich every couple of days.
Reach. Yeah.
If half a sandwich just casually walks by, I'm going to eat the sandwich. I'm not going to let myself die. I'm going to eat the sandwich.
This is like the tortoise version of Saw. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But you will know that you are close to death. The tortoise has no idea.
That's true.
That's crazy.
True.
How long could you do that without going crazy?
I mean, I would go crazy, but at least I'd still eat the sandwich.
Sure.
I'd eat the sandwich.
Of course you eat the sandwich. Here's just step number one. In any situation.
Eat the sandwich.
Eat the sandwich.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when you're going to be hungry later.
That's
right. You don't know when you're going to be able to stop and grab, no matter what situation you're in.
So many times I've kicked myself because I didn't eat the sandwich. Always eat the sandwich. Because you're like, well, you know what, there's going to be a nice meal later. And then you get there and then some bullshit happens and you find yourself waiting around and everybody's not at the restaurant. We can't order. Oh, and the wait is twice as long. Maybe we'll just go to another restaurant and wait. You're like, I should have had the fucking sandwich.
Eat when you have the chance. Go to the bathroom whenever you have the chance.
Oh, that's true too.
That's the two things you got to know.
Was that tortoise not defecating in the shed?
Yeah. Isn't that gross?
He was probably living in his own feces. Little tortoise feces.
There's not a lot of waste, though.
Is there not? I don't know how tortoise feces works.
I mean, there's not a lot of waste when you're slowly starving. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. You become more efficient at that point.
Yeah. Your body's just kind of like, no, we need that. We're going to hold on to that. I'm going to find a way to use every part of this buffalo.
I'm just realizing this guy's shed is a horror show.
But, it's crazy to me. You lose your dog. Your dog's gone for a week. You can assume that your dog's dead.
Yeah. Although, Dan Trachtenberg, your friend and mine, that happened to him. His dog was gone for months. It fell out of a moving car. They had I don't even know if he wants me to tell the story, but they were, what do they call it?
We can assume.
Sheltering your dog. When you go on vacation, what do you call that? Putting it up at a
kennel?
Kenneling, yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy came and picked him up and driving to the kennel, and the dog jumped out of the back of the car, and it was gone for months. Because dogs, yeah. It had gone for months. They thought it was dead. And he showed back up. They
with
found
an
him.
eye patch?
Yeah,
smoking a
he'd seen some
cigarette.
shit. He'd seen some shit. Yeah.
And,
They have
like,
the dog now. They have the dog again.
They were like so happy that he was back in the family, and he was happy too, but it was never the same.
It was never the same. He had a strange.
He always
new
sat with
mood.
his back up against the wall.
Yeah.
Like he was very.
It turns
like,
out he'd just been in the
wary.
shed the whole time.
He'd been in the shed listening to records. No, but like if you lose an animal, you can assume, especially like if it's gone for months or a year or multiple years. It's crazy to me. A tortoise lives on the scale that you can be reunited with your tortoise after 30 years. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like that's nuts to me.
Yeah, that's actually a brief dalliance away from your tortoise on the tortoise scale.
Yeah.
You could have like 50, 60 years away from your tortoise.
You think
who comes
about
back.
like Lady and the Tramp, you know, and you
Yeah.
think about the tramp and you think about your tortoise. Like a stray tortoise could live so many lives. It
Yeah.
could be like Bicentennial Man, but with
Bicentennial tortoise.
tortoises.
Yeah.
It could have 4 families. It could watch kids come and go. This is a great movie.
I would
I
love
would watch the
I would
hell out
love
of this movie.
the way that movie works is the shell like visually changes over time. He has like new scars and maybe
Yeah.
there's a portion that gets painted or he's like been through some shit. You can see it on the shell.
Yeah.
Like there's a sticker that says like Paris.
Yeah,
on
my
it.
friend had he got all the way
Like
to
a-
Paris and back because
Like in a cartoon
they're
when
slow. But guess what, man? They got time.
Yeah.
They
Slow
got
and steady wins
all
the race to
the
Paris.
time in the world.
Yeah, that's what they say.
You can't get to Paris in the next 30 years. You're probably not getting to Paris. This tortoise can do it
Yeah.
in 30 years and get back
Yeah,
for
he'll be
your
back.
funeral.
He won't miss your funeral.
He's not going to miss your funeral.
He'll leave Paris.
He's not heartless. He probably has a reminder set up that's like, it's you can do 15 minutes,
Yeah.
30 minutes, 10 years, 30 years.
Right.
And he sets the 30-year reminder, yo, this dude probably going to die.
Yeah.
My first owner's probably going to die.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's
We'll
sitting
better
at
get
a
back.
cafe in Paris, eating a croque monsieur.
I'll take this to go. And then he leaves, see?
We'll have to finish this discussion of Foucault when I get back.
Tortoise, but we were just
And-
getting to the good part.
And by we, I mean me and your daughter,
What?
because you'll be old. Goodbye, Philippe.
I don't even have a daughter yet. How does the tortoise know?
Would you own a pet that would outlive you?
Well, I wouldn't own a
You
pet.
wouldn't own a
I'm trying to
pet.
not own pets, and it's hard because
Is
my
it-
wife really wants to
Is
own
it
a
more
pet.
or less interesting to you, a pet that outlives you?
It's more interesting because I don't want to deal with the death of the pet. I'm hoping my child outlives me. I think that's the test of being a parent.
Yeah,
that
sure.
that your child outlives you.
That's like baseline.
Yeah, that's like the number one goal.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a little even more invested in that kind of outcome.
Sure.
That's
I think there's something interesting to me, like just thinking about how close I am with my dog now and like the dog that I had growing up,
yeah.
and just knowing like that bond. It's like one of the things that I wish all the time is just like, man, I just wish this dog could live as long as me.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fascinating to have a pet, to have an animal that was like, oh, literal friend for life.
Yeah.
There's something wonderful about that.
That would be nice. But
It
that's
is a
just
lot
not
of
the way life
responsibility.
works, man.
And the other thing is like, I imagine the declining health of my dog when that
Yeah.
happens, the last couple years.
Mhm.
Imagine the last like 20 years of having a tortoise.
It just the slow incline
The slow
or decline, I should
decline
say.
of the tortoise. I don't
Yeah.
know. Would you guys like to have a pet that lives as long as you? If you could have any kind of animal live as long as you, what would that animal
I
be?
mean, I think everybody's gonna say dog, Anthony.
Everybody's going to say dog because we know what's up.
Yeah.
But tweet us anyway. You can hashtag those.
Eat the sandwich.
Eat the sandwich. I'm at A Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And hey, if you want some bonus stuff, goodies, bonus episodes, early episodes on a special RSS feed customized just for you, a bespoke artisanal RSS feed. The way to get that.
Talk to table, we call it.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And you can head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns to find out how.